Hey everyone. Hey, today I want to talk about intonation, which is a huge part of playing the acoustic bass or any fretless instrument for that matter. The two most important spots are the reference spots, the physical reference spots on the bass. The first one being the nut and then the curve of the neck. So with any type of intonation, obviously you're going to want to have your fingers in the best spot possible. And what I use is the nut. If you come back and touch the nut with your first finger, come up about 1.25 inches, depending on your bass, your first finger should be over A flat on the G string. So you'd have these 4 notes in tune. And then consequently your second finger should be over the A, fourth finger over the B flat. So now just by coming back and hitting the nut, coming up about 1.25 inches, you should have all of these notes in tune. And now the second reference spot is the curve of the neck. If you put your thumb in the curve, it's probably going to be a D here on the G string if you put your first finger down. Some basses are E flat necks, meaning the neck's curved in a little more. Most are Ds though. So you just need to figure out in what relation to your thumb does your first finger need to be to get that D in tune. Is it this way? Is it this way? Is it this way? You got to get it in tune and you'll learn that position. So then at that point, you have these notes in tune, all by using the curve of the neck. So now we have all of these notes in tune, and then all of these. So then the obvious question is, how do you get from here to here in tune? Well, you use mapping. So if you're playing this on B flat, if you want to play a C in tune, you would move your first finger to where your fourth finger is currently located. The C will be in tune. So again, you play the B flat with your fourth finger, put your first finger right here, and this should be a C. Okay, then as you're playing here, if you need to play an F, you just do basically a half step shift in this position to where your fourth finger is now over F. You need to get to an F sharp, can do a whole step shift there to where you're shifting out with your thumb still in the curve of the neck. Right, if you need to reach those notes. So consequently, with any scale, you want to map your way from a familiar territory to a familiar territory to where you've mapped out the intonation. As few shifts as possible, and that goes for any scale or any type of bass line you're doing. You know, or you could even play the C here. And of course, that's Wayne Shorter's Footprints. You know, if you're doing something as familiar as all blues, find a position that you don't have to shift out of to do the bass line. So then that way you're always in one position and you're just changing which fingers you're using.